Hi, this is Zoe Taylor. I'm just going to talk you through the media detox that I did. So, media detox is basically not using any form of media for 24 hours. I sort of knew what to expect doing this because I have actually done kind of a media detox before. I've turned my phone off for a weekend, so it was for longer, but it was only one media product. I didn't find that too difficult, but the media detox that I did this time I found really, really hard. The main thing that I found difficult was, first of all, just turning all of the devices off. I decided at 10 o'clock that I would switch off my phone, iPod, laptop. I'd also decided to put away any magazines and newspapers I had around and just put all of these things out of sight so that I wouldn't be tempted to use them. Turning them off felt really weird to begin with. I usually just don't, as a general rule. Even my laptop is usually just on standby and I just sort of charge these stuff when they run out of battery. So turning them off was a bit of a weird experience. And then it got harder as the day went on. First of all, it was quite easy. I just sort of got on with some work and it wasn't too difficult. But as the day went on and on, I got more and more bored and I really wanted a distraction. I really wanted to go on Facebook. So not going on these things was quite difficult, but I did manage it. The most difficult was definitely not going on Facebook. I probably use Facebook about 50 times a day on a normal day, and so not using it was a huge chunk of time that was sort of missing. But I guess it was also because that's my main way of communicating. So I usually use it to talk to people in Newcastle who are friends from school, but also people at uni. So not being in those group messages for an entire 24 hours was quite difficult, and I did feel a bit out of the loop. At the same time though, I did talk to people more face to face, so because I didn't have text or because I didn't have a phone, I wouldn't ask people questions, or just if I wanted to know something, I wouldn't ask them myself. So that was a really good thing that I got out of this. Maybe his taught is to stop relying on technology so much and to just go and knock on somebody's door if I need something. Something that I also found quite difficult was not listening to music. That wasn't really an issue when I was in the house, but as soon as I left, I found that really quite a weird experience. As soon as I leave my room, I usually have headphones in, so walking around uni without them felt really strange. They're usually a distraction for us, and I just sort of blank out the world and just carry on walking. But without them, I felt quite strange, not really used to it. I didn't really like it that much, I won't lie, but it maybe has taught us to sort of not listen to music, to sort of block out stuff and just sort of to focus on what's going on more. Something that I didn't find too difficult was to avoid Twitter and other social medias other than Facebook, and also not going on my laptop. These things I didn't really find that hard. I don't really use them a lot as it is, so I think that's why I didn't really miss them. My laptop, I mainly use it for university work, but I also do watch Netflix on it. I did miss that a little bit, I won't lie, but not as much as Facebook. So those sort of things were quite easy to avoid. I didn't have too much trouble missing them. Something that was also quite difficult that I wasn't expecting was not having my phone to tell the time or the date or any sort of thing like that. I didn't see this come in. I'd completely forgot to put a watch on, and sort of when I did need to know the time, I didn't have a clue. It sort of shows that these new technologies are taking over old products, and so they're sort of making them sort of useless now. And this was the same thing as well. The next day I was going to set an alarm to get up, and I realised that the only alarms I had were digital ones. One's a radio clock and the other is the one I use on my phone, and because I couldn't use either of those, I just had to sort of hope that I woke up on time, which I did, but that was a bit of a worry. So just sort of little things like that were quite difficult throughout the day. What else? I did get really bored throughout the day. I was looking for a distraction by the end. I was just going upstairs and along the flat to talk to people throughout the day. And yeah, I was quite bored without media. I think realistically, it's not it's not very useful to cut out media full stop. I think because people use it to communicate a lot today, but also for university work, that sort of, I couldn't really do a lot of stuff that day just because I wasn't able to access any media. It has sort of taught us to maybe not use it as much or as often, so cut back on the amount I'm using. And I could, I suppose, delete these apps which I didn't really use and I didn't miss at all. So that's something positive that might have came out of it. So I think in summary, I did have a really good time doing it, but it was very, very difficult. I would advise other people to try, but it has taught us that maybe using the media as much as I do is a bad thing, and I should try and cut back. And I think I'm going to try and do that now, and sort of see how that goes. So yeah, it's been good.